YouTube, man, what is going on? It's LNH. We are back at it with another video. And today, man, Sharife Cooper just made a huge move not a lot of people are talking about. And we have to take a look. Man, what is going on with this guy? Is he going to get drafted? How is his draft stock looking, man? Let's break it down and get right into it. Now, first piece of news going on, man, a lot of people, Sharife Cooper just announced that he is actually signing with Lifestyle Sports, which is actually an agency that his father runs. A lot of people didn't know that, but it's actually lit to see him finally signing with an agent. And you guys know this guy is pretty much 100% going to get drafted, in my opinion. He's had so much talent, so much success at the college level and even high school basketball. But man, I gotta state the obvious here. A lot of people forget how good of a player this guy was in college basketball and even in high school, since we haven't seen him play in a minute now, because of course he's just been preparing for the NBA draft. Now let's take a look at some of the things that this guy did in high school and what really makes him so special. Now, he was only about 6 foot 160 in the class of 2020, and you guys know that's not tall at all. Being only 6 feet tall, man, you have to be some type of special player, and he exactly was that. Now, this dude actually was a 5-star recruit and a top 20 prospect, and it was actually ranked 20th according to ESPN. Now, he was a McDonald's All-American, and you won't believe the type of numbers that this guy was putting up. Now, he averaged 30 points per game, 8 assists per game, and 4 steals per game in his high school career, which, man, those are solid numbers, and not a lot of people, specifically being at 6 foot, are able to do that type of stuff on the basketball court. Now, in addition to this, he was actually his high school's all-time leading scorer and even scored over 2,000 career points. Now, that's a ton of buckets, and man, you guys should already know and understand the way he was moving on the court and the way he was killing in college basketball. If that was any reflection of what he did in high school, man, I'm gonna be honest, this was probably a breeze for him in high school the way he was playing in college. Now, he actually even led his team to a 32-0 record in high school basketball and was actually the Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. And man, you guys know they don't hand those out to everyone. You have to be a very special type of player. And man, Sharife Cooper is exactly that. And even in EYBL, which is AAU for Nike circuit, this guy was averaging 25 points and 9 assists. Man, and what really I like to see about him is he passes the ball. Man, a lot of people can put up numbers, but other times they get huge critiques on them not being able to really pass the ball and facilitate their team, although they're point guards. We've seen it time and time again, and even who I talked about yesterday, Mac McClung, that was a huge fault of his that a lot of people said, man, this guy isn't NBA ready because he doesn't get his teammates involved and only was averaging about 2 assists per game. Now, Sharife is out here averaging about 8 to 9 assists per game while he's putting up 30 points. That's insane. Now, of course, this guy, you guys know he had a ton of offers from a bunch of different schools like Auburn, Alabama, Arizona State, Cincinnati. I believe he even had an offer from Kentucky. So wherever he wanted to go, he was solid at going. And he even played alongside Brandon Boston in EYBL. So man, this guy was solid all around. Now, playing with such good players, like I always say, is only going to sharpen your sword, make you better in the long run. And honestly, in my opinion, I think it did. Of course, Sharife Cooper ended up signing with Auburn, but that wasn't the end of his story. He had a ton of issues, and specifically him and his eligibility. You guys know by now, he had a huge problem with eligibility where there was something going on with the coach, and he actually was not allowed to be able to play, and he was actually under investigation by the NCAA. Now, this lasted a minute and honestly carved into the season, which I thought was really sad because everyone wanted to see this dude hop on the court and see how he would play. Now, eventually it got resolved, and when Sharife Cooper came back, man, little to say, this guy was outrageous on the court. I don't think I've seen a lot of college basketball players be able to do what he can do on the court. Now, when he first came back, I'm gonna be honest, of course, everyone was tuning in to see, man, how good of a player he is, how good of a player really is he. Of course, McDonald's All-American, had all these type of accolades. How will it transition to college basketball? And let's just say he did not disappoint. Now, his numbers even in college were actually very exciting, and they were very good, averaging around 20 points per game, 8 assists per game, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal. Now, being that, of course, he didn't even play the full season. Remember that. He did not play the full season, and those type of averages are very solid for a guard, probably only standing at in my opinion, man, I think it's even a stretch if I'm going to call Sharife Cooper 6'2" at this point. But of course, he does have the hair, so maybe that's giving him a little bit more height. I'm not going to lie. Now, with him being that good, man, I think you really had to see him play on the court to know, man, this guy is an NBA player. One, he got his teammates involved like no other college basketball star, man. Being him and the way he moved on the court, being able to pass the ball, dribble, score, but also get his teammates involved. And this guy loves to throw the alley-oop and is an excellent passer. I have to stress that because that's one thing, man, a lot of people love about his game, and I think he does very well. Man, he is able to pass the ball and get his teammates involved like no other, and I love to see that in him play at Auburn. He really gave the team a spark that they just didn't have before. Of course, Auburn was doing okay without him, but when he came on the court, even if they were losing some of the games that he was playing in, the way he impacted the game was like no other, and you really saw it looked like Sharife Cooper was that missing piece to the puzzle that his team really needed to help them ignite. Now, of course, with that being said, it's too bad that they weren't able to actually play postseason and in the March Madness tournament because, of course, they actually had a self-imposed postseason ban, so they were unable to play in any type of postseason play. Now, it's sad that we didn't be able to see him in the March Madness because this guy, of course, man, he would have went crazy in March Madness. He can really hit a lot of open shots and is really clutch. I'm going to be honest here. When there's a bucket that needs to get made and it's coming down to the wire, he's really the one to knock it down. Now, of course, he does have his faults and he is not a perfect guard, but man, the way his draft projection is looking, it does look pretty good. Now, some of the draft projections actually have him as about the 20th pick or 22nd pick according to CBS, which in my opinion, that's pretty good, especially for him. I think one of the things, his height could hold him back, but his skill is so great that I think teams are going to take a chance on him. Now, in addition to this, he did actually get injured previously, which of course you have to think about this. Teams may be taking a chance on him because if you have any type of injury, man, NBA teams are going to look at that and they're going to say, okay, is this guy injury prone? Is this just a one-time thing or can he really get over this? And I don't think Sharife Cooper really has dealt with too many injuries from what I have seen. So I think he's going to be okay. And NBA teams are definitely going to take a chance on this dude with the type of play he had on the court. Now, with that being said, of course, every player does have their faults and Sharife Cooper is no different. Now, one of his biggest critiques that I've heard over and over again is his shooting ability, especially from the three-point line. Now, of course, even if you take a look at his jump shot, I got to be honest here, when he shoots the ball, it does look a little funny. He might look like he's leaning back, and he really did not have a high three-point percentage at all. Now, with that being said, it's crazy because the type of numbers that he was putting up, if he's averaging around 20 points per game and can't really shoot the three ball, that's kind of crazy how he's only being around 6'1", 6'2", can get to the hoop and get to the basket and finish. Now, of course, he does have a floater package as well, which is very good. And I think just him being that high, it's truly impressive that he's able to score that many points, still get his teammates involved, and can't really shoot the three-point ball that well, or at least does not have a very consistent three-point jump shot, which you guys know by now, in the game of basketball, you have to be able to shoot. Now, I think if Sharife Cooper can develop that three-point jump shot and really be a solid shooter, it's going to take his game to the next level. Of course, he can float the ball, and he's very good at finishing in contact in the lane, which I love about this guy. He is not afraid of contact at all and almost seeks it out when he does get to the basket. Now, you're going to be playing against a lot bigger guys in the NBA, but I think he could still get it done. And if he does improve on that one thing, which is that jump shot, man, I think the sky is the limit for Sharife Cooper. But you guys let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about him signing with this agency? And what do you think about his draft projections? How good do you think he's going to be in the future? We have not covered Sharife Cooper in a while, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on this dude. But let me know in the comments down below, man. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications. You get a new notification every time I upload a new video. So LNH, I'm out.